All right.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Tracy P. Cameron, and welcome to the show. I am so excited to have our guest speaker or guest invitee. I don't know what to call him. My friend, my buddy, co-partner in crime with the construction, Mike G. Hey Mike.
Hey, how you doing, Trey?
I'm good. So if you don't know Mike G is from the Jungle Brothers. Y'all remember 1988, straight out the jungle, right? And well, this is 19 what is this? This is
2000,
2023, right? So
2023. Oh my
Mike
goodness,
has
time
a
flies.
long journey to tell us. We can ready go on this long ride of the whole entrepreneur journey, the transition or the add-on from being a star and I don't know if you from Brooklyn or from New York. I know you know them, right? So if you from North Carolina, I know you know them. I'm talking about East Coast. Let's go East Coast, right? I'm
Right.
not gonna go as far as to say in 1988, y'all people on the West Coast, y'all was into something different. We're not gonna talk about that. Wasn't hip hop.
Uh-oh. I thought we was gonna be talking about pipes and wrenches this morning.
I'm gonna have to edit that one out.
Nah, you good.
Why don't you tell everybody what you do right now?
Well, currently I'm a licensed plumber, licensed unlimited plumber here in North Carolina, and I work a lot on renovations. We do a lot of renovations, new construction for residential, fit ups, and new construction and commercial. So
Okay.
that's I pretty much started focusing my life around that nowadays. And music, I do kind of on the weekends more now. I still do a lot of admin for our music stuff because we do a lot of shows still, and smaller projects.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not so much albums, but features, EPs. But now, really, my day to day is plumbing. So I
Plumbing.
enjoy it. I got into the trade like around '04. I had some friends, really good friend of mine's. Always got to shout him out, my man, Rugged Rob, DJ Rugged Rob. He was a union plumber back in New York, and he kind of really gave me my first introduction to plumbing. I would help him out sometimes, and it always just stayed in my mind. And once I moved down here, I got an opportunity to jump in, and I jumped in, and here I am now.
So when did you start plumbing? You said when? 2004?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, and what's the name of your company?
My company is called MBS Plumbing Service.
MBS Plumbing Service. And that's how I actually connected with you. We're around the same age, right?
Yep,
New York City, probably going to the same clubs. Who was some of the clubs that we went to? Latin Quarters, right?
without question.
Roxy,
Latin
uh,
Quarter,
uh,
1018s,
1018s.
the
Was
world.
Bentley? Was Bentley's open then?
Oh
Remember
yeah, Bentley's
Bentley?
was open back then. But
Yeah, you
Bentley's,
remember?
I mean, depending. I wasn't really that type of dress up R&B club kind of dude. So we
Mm-hmm.
only went there like if we was doing a performance, or if it was late after a couple of shows, and they actually let us in because they was a little strict with the dress code. They want to see us
Yeah,
coming in there with the khakis and the Tims and all of
yeah,
that, But
yeah.
we had a little bit of status, and plus we ran with red alert. So
Oh
we
yeah,
was
that's
we was we was
right.
like 80% good to get in.
Yeah,
Because
80%. That
they was
especially
real
then,
crucial.
even now, let's make it 90 because he was it
Yeah,
back then when
yeah,
it
no
came
doubt.
to.
Still is it. He's still out there
Mhm.
getting it hard.
Really, I
Oh
don't
yeah.
keep up anymore because, like you said, construction, real estate, it doesn't really call for the same type of. I mean, we get with some
Yeah, you don't
when
network
you're
in the
running
same
your business.
places.
Right. And then we get so much information, so much paperwork, follow up calls. It's really hard to just have the leisure time. When we get our breaks, we like to kind of chill and not sit
Yeah,
there. Right. So
yeah, nah, do you do a lot more homework now? Plenty homework.
you're not just a plumber, you're a master plumber. Is that what they call that?
Yeah, yep, they would
Okay.
consider that a master plumber, yep.
Okay. Okay. What does that mean exactly?
Well, basically here in North Carolina means I could work on any type of project.
Okay.
Like I could work on from a kitchen sink all the way up to a skyscraper, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
I've studied enough and done enough projects under my belt that I could work on just about any size project. So
Okay.
that's good. And plumbing is a funny trade because there's never the same day. There's nothing
Mm,
happens the same every day. Even if you're going up a 10-story building or whatever, each
mm,
time you get to a different floor, you're gonna have to run something a little bit different.
right.
And as you know, in residential, like we work a lot, there's always a challenge, depending
Mm,
what the actual customer wants and if the building structure will allow it, the space, you're dealing with that, you deal with the finishes, a little bit of everything.
all right. So we know what you're doing now, and
Yeah.
you're also a family man. Why don't you
Yeah.
tell us about your family life? How's that? How's
Oh,
everything? How's it evolved since 1988?
oh, it's evolved a bunch, to say the least. I had my first in '91, my daughter,
Mm.
and then I had another daughter, and now we have a son, and now everybody's grown up, and we got one left in the nest.
How
my,
old is the youngest?
he's 17.
Oh, okay. So he's not a baby.
Nah, he's not a baby.
All
He's not a
right.
baby.
So
We
you
definitely
got.
closed that shop.
That's all I'm saying. When they get to that finish line, you be like, yes, but
You
he's
need a
still
woosah.
Woosah. It's just the freedom to be able to kind of come and go, and everybody's moving a little bit more independently is awesome. So yeah, so
Yeah.
and you're still young, you still vibrant. You could go and do basically kind of set in motion it, your new chapter because you're about to embark on a new chapter now, which is
Pretty much, pretty much. But I got to add one thing to the kids, right? So it's crazy that you with them when you're little, and I come from that club environment. So I think when I first walked in a club and I saw my oldest daughter, I was like, okay, we at that age now. But it's cool because I used to bring her to the shows and all of that. So
Mhm.
that was real enlightening. It's crazy because now both my daughters, they old enough that we'll go to a club or we hang out. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that I got to leave my son behind sometimes. But like now he's almost that age, so it's crazy.
I don't think you're from Brooklyn though, right?
No, no, I'm from Harlem, but I've got
You're
family in
from.
Bed-Stuy over there, Herkimer, and
Mm.
around that not Bushwick, Bed-Stuy area. So back in those days, it was like you couldn't even walk through Brooklyn.
Right. All
But
right.
it was
Right.
cool coming from uptown. And like I said, I used to travel there early on because of my family, right? My
Right.
father's side of the family lived in Brooklyn. Um, and So I would go out there and not really till I got older, like in high school. And it was like from uptown, and cats was like, yo, nah, we can't be going to Brooklyn. No,
Mhm.
that's far. That's this, that. I'm like, dang, it's just a train ride. I do it like almost every other weekend. I'm taking
Right.
the train out there, So but it's cool.
Wow.
Brooklyn is definitely the planet.
Mhm.
I mean, I can't remember the first MC that was like, "Yo, Planet Brooklyn." I was like, "Yeah, he's definitely on point with that," because Brooklyn is huge, and
Mhm.
it's like you could wind up anywhere, any type of situation. You could be around the Latinos,
Right.
Latinas.
Right.
Mess around, run up on them Italians if you want to on Coney Island.
Right.
you know,
I know you got some stories.
just a couple, but
Yeah, yeah.
I
Why
don't
don't you
kiss and
just
tell.
sprinkle a little one, just one good story, if you could think of one. I told you I was gonna put you on the spot, so you don't have to tell. You don't use names. Be like
Oh yeah.
on those television shows, like this is was based on a true story, but at no point none of these people are like
We've
like
changed the names to protect the innocent. Nah, but
yeah. Why
I'll
don't you
tell you
tell
one
us?
thing about Brooklyn. I remember there's this one block in Brooklyn, and me and my partner in music, we went to go see some girls, right? And yo, this
That's
was the
always
longest block of brownstones I think I ever seen in my life. And so the girl had a brother, and he's so the brother's out doing whatever. So we in there trying to, get acquainted, chop it up. And it was just two sisters basically. So we in there trying to get acquainted, bliss, this, that, and the other. The key rattles.
acquainted. Is that like entangled? Go ahead.
The key rattles. She flips a wig like, yo, it's our brother, this, that, and the other. She's like, yo, y'all gotta act like y'all leaving, this, that, and the other. I think I was in the bathroom at the time. So I hear the commotion, but I didn't really know. So when I come out, my man grabbed me, he like, yo, we gotta bounce this, that, and other. And I'm like, yo, what's up? This, that, and other. So you know how brownstones is, you could kind of walk, you could kind of walk around and miss somebody, walk around from the room to the hallway. So we did that for a little while. And my man, he ran upstairs like it was a game. I'm chopping it up with his, but the brother comes in, so I'm chopping it up with him, like, yeah, what's up? You know, this, that, and other. You know, me and this sis, you know, trying to, you know, he wasn't
Wait, were
really
you
having anything.
famous yet? Were you
Nah,
famous yet?
we were
Okay.
like right there. We had just started recording. People knew us because we had um started ringing bells from doing the performances in high school.
Okay.
So people kind of knew us, and the girls, that's how they knew us. We recorded in Coney Island. So
Okay.
we was always out there in Brooklyn, and one of the sisters, they was out there recording too, and that's how we got acquainted.
Okay.
So somehow I leave, right? I'm sitting on the step trying to wait for my man. Is still up in there, right? And I'm like, yo, what is this dude doing? So he somehow got upstairs in the room, and he's chilling. Him and his girl, they up there chilling, trying to, make something happen. The brother heard it. Boom, 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 boom. Yo, all I do is see my man run out, one pants up, one pants leg up, one pants leg down, walking down the street. Oh, it was crazy. That was Brooklyn for you.
But let's talk about the fact that all of that was going on and he still tried it. Like
He
there's
still
a time
tried.
and a place for everything. Like you knew this is chill time, but that's because you got. But back in the we was
Yeah, 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 yeah.
it was so
Back in the
different.
days, it was love, love.
It was.
That's how we used to say. We say, yo, that was love, love.
We would go to Harlem, and hang out and walk around, and the vibe was so different from Brooklyn.
Yeah, yeah.
It was so much in the guys were different. We used to be like, oh my God, it's like candy. It was just a whole different vibe, but it was smoother.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was
Yeah, Harlem was
smoother.
definitely laid back. And it still is to a certain extent.
Yeah,
That's probably what I miss the most about New York is that you could, go places and you could like walk for blocks and blocks and blocks and literally, not feel like you're in the boonies. Even if you don't know where you're going, you feel like you got some place to go. So you could stop, chop it up with people. I miss that like the most.
yeah.
Walking around the city.
Seeing
Like
something different. It was always a different experience. Like it
always a
wasn't
different
never
experience. Yeah,
boring. Never a day where you
never.
could go for a walk and not see something like holy.
Yep.
What's going on with the skateboard and the hot pants and the boom box? So let's talk about your history in music. Because let's be honest. I want to be excited that you're a plumber. The only good thing about you being a plumber was that I got to bump into you because I think you started back at 14.
Yeah, not necessarily. I probably started writing rhymes at 14. Started writing, like I was into graffiti. So that was like kind of my first introduction. I wasn't a dancer, a breaker, nothing like that. I like writing my name and graffiti on the wall. I like tagging. And then like I said, I was under Red. And he would always bring back the tapes from the old school parties. And I would hear all the old school MCs rapping, and that's what kind of got me into writing. So I would write. And then Sammy and I, during the summers, because he lived in Harlem too, we would go around to different block parties and try to get on the sets. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Harlem was like Brooklyn in a way too. Like during the summer times, you go to various blocks and they always have the systems out there pumping. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was in Harlem. Definitely back to back blocks. So we would just walk the blocks trying to get on the set. Be like, yo, can we get on? Can we bust a routine or something like that? And but I really didn't crack my shell till I got into high school. A friend of mine, she was like, yo, they about to do a variety show or something like a talent show. And we all all the MCs was getting together to see how we could click up. And that's where I met Bam. I met Bam there and we clicked up. And our first name was the Bug Out Crew. We used the Bug Out.
Really? Remember bugging out? I still say that. I still say bug out. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So we did that first, and then from there, we just kind of we would record. We record out at his house, and then my uncle heard it, and he was like, "Yo, okay, you got something. Y'all really trying to take this serious?" So he took us out to a couple of studios, and then we landed a small deal on the independent out in Coney Island, and Idlers Records, and that's kind of where we really started cracking our bones. After school, like '87. That was my last year of high school. I was going out there after school or after my little part-time gig, record. You know what I'm saying?
So what's your favorite song? And if you pick a favorite song, then you got to tell me the meaning behind it. Why is it your favorite song? So
My favorite song? I don't know if I really have one just yet.
well, you wrote them all, right? Or most of them?
Yeah,
For
me and my
you
partner,
anyway.
we wrote all the songs. But
Mm-hmm.
wow, my favorite. So I guess it's favorites for different reasons. So I guess one of my favorites is "Girl I House You," right? Because it was a party jam. It came out of left field, right? And it's so strong up until this day. So it's like the longevity of it makes it my favorite, right? And it's really like, although like it took us around the world that song, to a certain extent. I think that one really propelled us around the world. But it's so New York that I love it. You know what I'm saying? I really love it because like when people talk to me now, they be like, "Yo, I remember that song. Oh, girl, I house you."
Right.
And so people that song rings so many bells. But like Straight Out the Jungle, that whole album I love because of the time period. That really capitalizes on the time period we grew up, like 80, 87. It's like every song has like a little bit of humor and a memory. Straight Out the Jungle, Behind the Bush, all that stuff. Yeah. So, but even a lot of our newer work, done by the Forces, Raw Deluxe, all these songs, I love them all.
Okay, so you are now officially an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You are a plumber and you are a musician and artist,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So you have to kind of balance between both worlds. Now we know that this is a completely opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, for you to put on your entertainment hat, I was watching you on one of those films, you were doing like a mic check. You were just in your element. You were so comfortable. Everybody was listening to you. And I watch you on the job site. You're kind of quiet. You don't really say too much unless you have to. You might talk before you get to the job site, but when you're there, I don't really hear too much. But, you're not running around spouting rhymes out of your mouth like some lunatic, right? So you can
Yeah.
So being on the opposite ends of the spectrum, I know that you have a pink and blue for each one, right? Yeah, a pink is your high.
Okay.
And a blue is your low.
All right.
Okay. So I always wanted, because you have, if you had something that was like with me, I'm all things real estate. So everything is kind of intertwined, right? Selling a house, fixing a house, dealing with clients, customers, vendors, all kind of the same, right?
Right.
But in your particular case, the people that you're doing work with for your plumbing company are not necessarily the same type of element or people that you're dealing with in your entertainment. So two different experiences. So you're going to have to break both of them down.
Okay.
All right. So why don't you tell me about the best time in your life as let's start with plumber.
Okay.
All right.
Wow, the best time of my life. Plumbing.
Yeah, like maybe something happened. Maybe you got I don't know. Maybe you got your license. Maybe
Oh yeah,
you
that's
got
what I
your
was gonna say
first big
too.
payday or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Definitely all of the above. check all those boxes.
Yeah.
So definitely, like I had tried. I had I took 3 cracks at the exam. I mean, so how it is it's 2 parts to the exam, and the first time I crashed and burned completely because I was trying to do 2 things. I was actually studying for something else. I was looking at IT and all of this, and I was just trying to study everything because that's the good thing about down here. You got so many opportunities as far as like studying and gaining certifications and all of that jazz. So I was doing too much. But when I really cracked down and sat down and took my time to study, I think I studied like 8 months straight or something like that. And
Wow.
I took the exam first, and I didn't. I passed one part, but I didn't pass the other. So how they let you do is they still keep your one part steady, but you got to go back and take the other part.
Right. That's how it is with the real estate exam. I think it's a state and federal or something like that, and or commission and state. But anyway, yeah, they hold it and then they retake it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like business and mechanical. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I passed like the business and failed the mechanical, or vice versa. And man, when I took it the next time and I passed, man, I was like, I was the happiest ever. I was
Uh-huh.
like, you can't tell me nothing. But it definitely felt good accomplishing that. I think my kids seeing me kind of get up early, studying every day, because I wasn't a nighttime study. I was an early study. I was the one to get up like 4:30.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
drink coffee, so I would just make some breakfast and crack the books.
Oh,
And
good.
then rock
Okay.
out on the books for like 2 or 3 hours every morning. When they getting up going to school, I'm sitting at the table studying. So
So why don't you give me a blue with the plumbing?
a blue, wow, blue. So probably uh probably a blue was I gotta be honest, a blue was probably I had this one guy helping me. He was green. He definitely helped me out though, because I had got a big job when I first started. So I needed some help. So a good friend of mine, he would help me out every other day or so, but he couldn't he couldn't keep up for the most part. He was in IT, and he was still trying to get back into IT. So finally he got an answer from a job that he wanted. So I was like, yo, he said, but I've got somebody to fill my place. And he brought his cousin on. And man, he was kind of green. He was pretty green when he first started. And I showed him everything I could. But eventually he just fell off, and he didn't come back to work. And this is years of time that I put into this guy. And
What happened
he
to him?
he's just, I don't want to throw no dirt, but
Okay.
he chose a different lifestyle for the most part. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was a little crushing. It was a little crushing for
Mm-hmm.
me, because when you're a company owner, you invest in your time and you invest in your people. You know what I mean? And
It's just money.
yeah, yeah, not just money. You invest in time,
Mm-hmm.
knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And you trying to help. Like me, I want to see people step up. And I want to see people get to the next level. And I felt like he was getting to that next level, which he was. He learned a lot, but maybe it just wasn't for him. And he found greener pastures. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like breaking up with a girl. It's like your girlfriend
Uh-huh.
leaving you.
Hmm. No, but that's what I said. This is everything is relationship.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Everything
yeah.
is like people try to act like one thing is not, but being an entrepreneur, one of the things, it is personal. It
Hmm.
is because it's your business, it's your tears, sweat, and blood, it's
Yeah,
your time, is
yeah.
it's your income that you're providing for your family.
Oh, no
It's
doubt,
the
no
it's
doubt.
the getting up at 4 in the morning to study. It's the going out in the freezing cold, the going out in the burning hot, climbing
Hmm.
roofs, attics, crawl spaces. This is real life, personal, whole lifestyle investment into a dream, a
Oh, no
vision of
doubt. And then
yours.
it's like it's teamwork too. So it's like, man,
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
my
And then
my,
and so
my
you build like a family. Have you ever been tested as a leader and the owner of the company? Because you're smooth with it. I don't, and you got these like these massive like hand fist thingies. So I'm not quite sure anybody would test you too much, but I'm just curious.
nah. Fortunately, he hasn't gotten to that on the job site. And like you said, when I get on the job, I'm really about my business, because it's time. We ain't really there to be playing around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we getting there early. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to be there 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? We trying
Mm-hmm.
to get in, get these people what they want, get the job done, and keep it pushing. You know what I mean? So, like you said, a lot of times I call ahead, I get my people's in motion. So by the time I get there, I'm assisting. I'm not even leading. I'm just assisting, making sure everybody got what they need in front of them to complete their task. A lot of times you get other tradesmen like, oh, this, that, nah, money, just stay in your lane.
Right.
Go work with the lights, put a frame up or something like
Right.
that. But this is plumbing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
See,
I just try
that's
to
a
keep it
jewel.
100.
That's a
That's
that's
that.
a jewel you just dropped for other entrepreneurs. What you just said, you plan
Yeah.
ahead, so when by the time you get to the job site, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there trying to figure out, how to not be so hands on.
Oh yeah,
And I
yeah,
think it's about the pre-planning and making sure that everybody knows what they have to do before they get to the job site.
yeah. Real quick, real talk. Because I
Mm-hmm.
guess the best jewel that was ever dropped on me, and I'm still working towards it, is stop working so much in your business and start working on your business.
Oh
So,
wow.
from my aspect, this is pretty key because, you know, the more hands-on I am, the less admin I could do to actually help the business grow. So like I've really been trying to fall back, take a day, pay attention to the books, look for new people, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So these people come to you, they looking for a job, and they want to you got to be able to keep the work in front of them at the end of the day. That's probably like the biggest thing. That's the biggest one of the biggest challenges, is keeping work in front of guys that coming to work for you, because they don't want to. Like I had one dude give me like, "Yo, if we not working, I could go home," and I was like, "Nah, don't worry, we working." You know what I'm saying? We working, and
Right.
that's the people, the attitude that some people have. You know,
Right.
because if you're not gonna give them the work, they're gonna go somewhere else and get work.
Right.
So
Right. Has any of the things that you learned in the music business helped you with managing your plumbing business?
yeah, oddly enough, it has. And it's kind of some of the same things. One time being there early and planning ahead, and communication, like communicating with people, because like when you leading up to a show, like nowadays we do a lot of one-offs, but we also put together like short.
What's a one off?
Oh, like just going like one Saturday, going somewhere out of town to do a show. Like somebody called us like, "Oh, we need you to perform," in Egypt for like one day. So that's like a one-off. Where a tour is, you're touring, you're out for like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and you date after date after date. So either way, you gotta call ahead, you gotta plan, you gotta say like, what hotel we stay at, what time is sound check, who am I getting the money from, who's doing the sound, uh, we needed deposits this day, and this day, so we could get our tickets. You know what I'm saying? You constantly plan, and it's not just like everything happens on that one day. You got to use those days prior to actually put things in motion to make sure that the event is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And in a
Right.
way, it's the same thing in plumbing.
Okay.
You got to call
Now,
ahead. You got to be like, okay, when can we meet on the job? Let's walk through. Tell me your ideas. What do you see from beginning to end? What is your end product? Then you got to think, how many people do I need to work on this? Oh, well, she wants me to work on this day, but I got another project, so you got to split people up. And I think talking to people is the biggest thing. Being able to communicate without sounding like everything, or that you don't know
mm,
enough. You know what I'm saying? Because people will be like, if they don't feel confident with you,
right.
they won't hire you for the job.
You actually are still performing, you're still doing tours,
Yeah.
right? You just came off tour not too long ago. Where'd you go?
We did a West Coast tour. Did
Okay.
about 9 dates in about a week and a half,
Wow.
or 2 weeks roughly. So we
Okay.
did LA, San Diego, Santa Cruz, San Francisco, um, Portland, Oregon, Eugene, Oregon, Seattle, Bellingham, and a little town called Yakima.
Yakima. I've heard of that town actually.
Yeah,
I don't know
Yakima.
how,
Wow,
but
wow. Have you heard that one? Is
yeah.
good. But it was a good
Was
run. We got some good crowds out there. It was definitely good, and we hadn't been on a tour in a little while. So especially in the States, we do a lot of touring. We can count. I mean, we can't count how many dates we've done overseas and how many tours, but it was good touring throughout the States, and we got another one coming up in June, so that should be good.
okay. Okay. Do you
Yeah.
do a lot of European tours out of the
Yep.
country? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Do a lot of
Okay.
European tours. We got a couple of dates coming up in July,
Mhm.
um, in the UK. So we get around. We still stay busy. Keep that passport stamp fresh.
I know that's right. I know that you could probably tell me a couple of stories about the music industry and people, but let's start with your pink.
The high, I probably haven't reached the highest peak yet in music. To be honest, I don't think I've really got there yet, but I've had some great times along the way. One thing I'm super proud of and always refer to is that we got to perform for Nelson Mandela when he got freed.
Oh,
So
nice.
that was like a really big thing for me. I
Mhm.
really like that was huge. That was huge. And I think also just every time we release an album, that it's kind of a high because you're finishing a project. That's pretty important. And
Mhm.
seeing people when you're coming out, when you're doing shows and people actually coming out and enjoying themselves, those are the
Yeah.
highs.
Yeah.
Those are the highs.
Yeah. I
But that
love that you guys kind of stayed the course with that. So definitely bringing people joy. You have done that over the course of your life with your music. You and your brothers have done that,
thank you.
and that's commendable. So let me ask you something before I ask you for your specific blue. What made you go from leave New York, come down here and start? I know that you said you tried a bunch of different things, or you were trying to look at different things before you decided on plumbing. But what was the pause in your career? Why did you go from there to here?
So well, well, first off, when you're in a group, it gets a little tough. Everybody has their own maybe plan for the future and different lives that they have to navigate through. And I think each of us ran into a certain point where we kind of needed to take a break. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it slowed things up, and that's what kind of led me into getting into the trades. Which I'm fortunate for. And I commend my dad because when I brought it up to my father, and I was like, yo, I'm looking to get into something. Music is slowing down. And I told him what opportunities I had, as far as plumbing and IT. And he's like, listen, he was like, soon, I forget how he said it, but he was like, he was saying that IT turns over so much it's going to be hard to keep up, but there's always going to be a need for plumbers and trades. So
Mhm.
he's like, go after the trades. Don't hesitate. He's like, it may start off slow, but stick with it, and you're going to be happy. And
Nice.
I'm happy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm happy,
Mhm.
and I'm fortunate he gave me that advice, and even that he was there to give me that advice. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cats don't have people to go
Right.
to really get the real. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
that's super important.
Didn't really get deep into why. I'm just telling you, I'm listening.
Uh huh.
Right. Into why. So I know that you said, when you have a group, everybody makes their own decisions on how they want to travel their life course.
Right,
So they
right,
kind
right.
of go their own different ways. Do you have any regrets? Do you wish that maybe you said, forget the group, I'm gonna step out on my own and try to do something independently?
Uh, Not really. I think about it a lot though, obviously. Being in a group, you always think about like doing solo stuff and this and that. But there was also some discouraging things, when you really get into the business, you see how people are really quick to slice your throat, step on your toes to get ahead. They feel like they're getting ahead. And just like the attitudes of some people in the business, it's like real shallow. So that's something that
Mm,
kind of discouraged me from the business. And not so much want to pursue it. Like I enjoyed what Jungle Brothers do,
mm,
and but at the time I just felt like, listen, if I got to really go out here and make a consistent earning for my young daughter at the time, I've got to take another path, and that's what I did. I felt like construction was easy. Easier in one way to navigate, you know what I'm saying? Less cutthroatish, more straightforward. With music,
right.
you put out a lot of work and it's a lot of work before payday. You know what I mean? So
That's real estate too. So I get you on that, but I love the fact that you chose your responsibilities, um and you basically, and I don't want to say you put them down, but what you did was you prioritized differently
yeah,
for your family.
yeah,
And I think that's the mark of a great man. I don't want to say good man, it's a great man,
thank you,
because
thank you.
being a good man just means you do good things, but being a great man means you meet, like, a leader makes the decisions, the hard decisions, and they sacrifice and they put their desires back in the back burner. So what's your biggest blue, something that hit you personally, You're gonna have to disclose. I know you. Yeah, I don't want to say you're secretive, but you are private. And I'm
Yeah,
trying to. I'm trying to hold on. Let me
I
show
know
you.
you're trying to get the tea.
I'm trying to get. I mean, you're gonna have to tell me something because I want to hear something. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm trying to build my listeners. So, Mike, you got to help me out here. I need some real information. Um, give me a blue, something that if personally hit you. I know you have one.
Oh yeah, they in there. They in there.
Come on, Mike. Just
But
give
I
me
mean,
one.
I've had, I probably one of my biggest things is I remember working on a project, and one of my
Was this
people's.
entertainment or this plumbing?
Nah, this was entertainment. This was
Okay.
entertainment. It was an album we was working on,
Mhm.
and I got a good buddy in Texas. He moved from New York. He moved down to Texas, and he had opportunity. He was building the studio, so I helped invest in the studio. And I was like, "Yo, well, being I'm investing, let's start working on a new album." You know what I'm saying? So we started working on a new album, and we basically got done. We finished the album and everything, but one of the people in the group, felt like, they must have been really hard up, and they took the album and they licensed it in another country without telling us. So that was a low. That was a big
Wow. What
low.
did that mean for you?
Definitely a breaking of trust. You know what I'm saying? And what can you say? It's like you can let the heads roll and get real stupid, ugly with it, or you just keep tracking on. And that's what I did. I just kept tracking on because I know it was gonna come around 360 either way. You know what I'm saying? Either
Did
way.
it?
That's
Did
Oh
it?
yeah, yeah, without question. Without question.
I'm sorry.
Without
I'm
question.
trying not to stop. I just love that.
Without question. Without
Yeah.
question. Because the album, somebody came to me and was like, "Yo, I heard this album, such and such. Yo, I want to press it. I want to press it." So that's what happened. And I actually got a copy of it over here. Somebody, got it right here. Call I got you.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
I don't remember that album. So what
yeah,
does that mean that
nobody
they couldn't
remembers that
release
album.
it here?
Well, we recorded it here, but they released it in Japan. They got some little small deal and tried to get some quick cash.
So you couldn't release it here because it was locked down in Japan?
We could, but the how can I say the trust between the group wasn't there anymore. So you got to work
Oh.
together. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't work together.
Oh
So
wow.
that was one of the reasons for the hiatus of the Jungle Brothers. But
Oh. Okay. That's a big reason.
oh yeah, oh
That's
yeah.
a big reason to have someone and again, it seems like that's constant in anything that we try to do in life. It's
Uh huh.
trusting people. It's something about when there's a money opportunity. Um, you always got to kind of sleep with one eye open
Oh,
because
without question.
you never know what someone really has inside of their head going on. And they always say, my mother used to say this: people say one thing, think another, and do yet another. And it's like you just always find out the hard way because you never see it coming.
Oh
So
yeah.
so so when something like that happens, there's something called, I think I'm saying this right, royalties, right? Do you
Right.
still receive royalties off of it even though it's in Japan?
Yeah, yeah, we still get a little bit of royalties off of it, but the big thing is getting it here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Distributing it here, getting it licensed, getting all our paperwork in order. So yeah,
mm,
no doubt, it's all come around full circle. You know what I'm saying, to say
okay.
the least. So
Were you able to get it licensed here, or you just went on and made some other albums?
yeah,
And
yeah, it's the same thing, music business. So we signed it ourselves.
mm-hmm,
Signed it to Jungle Brother Records,
mm-hmm,
got a distributor,
mm-hmm.
and letting it fly.
Wow, congratulations. I like how you flipped that though.
Oh
But
yeah,
time heals all wounds. And if you do the right thing and you make the right decision, karma is a real energy.
oh
Okay.
yeah,
People don't want to believe it. But the good thing about karma is karma knows your heart. you know, and your intentions. And I think sometimes people miss that. They think it's about the act, but sometimes we make mistakes because we just didn't know any better. You know, you knew better to do it. And sometimes it's not a mistake, it's an intention. It's an intentional, you know, two middle fingers up in the air to you subconsciously, and I'm just going to do this, and then it always comes back around. So I'm not going to say I'm happy to hear that things came around full circle, but I am. No shade. I'm really happy for that, right? So, oh my God. So, where do we go from here? Now, what are you doing now? I did see a couple of things on YouTube, right? Looks like you're busy again, right?
Yeah. We stay busy.
Yeah, you have a movie or something coming out?
Oh yeah, I got a gentleman who I used to work with in the plumbing industry. He became he's actually become
he did the black and white, black beaches or black and
white. The Black Beach, White Beach. Yeah. He wanted to do a documentary on me, seeing how I go between plumbing and the music business. His name is Rick Kelly, and he started a project called Humble in the Jungle, and it's based around me about, like I said, how I travel between the music industry and plumbing, the plumbing world. And I think he's looking to release I think he said the end of this year.
They always say such great things about you on the interview. I mean, I'm not interviewing all of you, so I'm specifically talking about you, about your integrity, your work ethic, your consistency. People always talk more about your character, and then of course your artistic talent speaks for itself. Because when lights, camera, action, you turn into a whole. You just you know, the confidence is like, it's a natural confidence. I'm like, okay, Mike.
Well, it was a work in progress. You know, I used to get real nervous. And then, like you said, I'm a quiet person. So it took me a little while to crack my shell. But I'm just, you know, I'm constantly just trying to get better. And I think the most with the music, though, is like I enjoy it. I really so hardly enjoy it. Like nobody's business. I enjoy it. I enjoy my time up there. I enjoy seeing people having a good time. And I just want to get in the party and have a good time too. So
I know that's right.
That's why I turn up when I get the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Work hard, play hard. That's how we got to do it.
That's how we got to do it.
The brothers, a lap. Jim Browski must wear a cap just in case. Girl, I'll house you. You in my hood. Girl, I'll house you. Girl, I'll house you. Girl, I'll house you. You in my hood now. I'd give it what you got, no need to hide. You're allowed as long as you're able. Take away the chairs and move away the tables. I'm doing my thing, working around you. Lay there screaming.